Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Vinland Saga Season 2 episode number 23 reaction. So the previous episode with Thorfinn withstands his ground even though he was getting punched by Trot, and they were like making bets and making fun of him at the beginning, but little by little as he stood his ground and as he showed more of his conviction, and yeah, in the end Drott and everyone else just stopped, and he won over them. He won over Drott's and the other people's, like, the Yom Vikings' admiration, and they were like, "Yeah, we need to take this person in to meet the king." And finally, he meets Canute, and he asks him, like, "Why? Why are you doing this?" And here we get to see a genuine answer from Canute, and we get to see what he's trying to do. I'll be honest, it's a very tough thing that he's trying to do, but it makes sense a lot. So basically, what he's trying to do is he's trying to stop the Vikings from running all around and, like, going, like, like on their own way. He's trying to rein in the Vikings because they are one of the main reasons why wars happen. So if he's able to make them, take them under his control, and as we are seeing, he's actually forbidding the Vikings from doing stuff like pillaging and, like, and killing, like, unnecessarily. He's doing that, and that is what he's trying to do. Like, he's trying to, like, first unite the whole place under one banner so that wars actually get eradicated. And even if war gets eradicated, if Vikings stay free, they're going to make trouble everywhere. So that is another thing that he's trying to do, is like rein in the Vikings underneath his banner so that they don't do whatever the hell they want to. So that is like his goal, and it's a very interesting goal because I was not expecting that to be the case. I didn't really expect him to be thinking about the Vikings here. And that's impressive. That is very impressive. And Thorfinn is like, yeah, that is a very that is something like a king like Canute would think of. However, Einar is also kind of true here, where Einar's counter, like, argues that what about the people now? Like, what have they done wrong that they have to, like, like, be sacrificed for your, like, lofty goals? So yeah, and in the end, Canute was like, "Oh, so will you stop me? Like, like, stop me if you can. Like, like, take my head here." And all the Jons Vikings, like, start surrounding them. So yeah, that's where the whole episode ended. Let's see what Thorfinn gives, what type of answer Thorfinn gives, and what happens. So yeah, let us begin then. So I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here, sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. So here's the countdown: 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, okay. Mm. Oh. Uh. Mm. Two parts. Oh. Mm. Hmm. Okay, so what? Damn. Great. His daddy's back again. My dad, like, go away. It's past your bedtime. Oh god. Oh wow. Oh god. Okay. Damn, he's actually letting this get to his head. Oh god. Dad, please keep quiet. Oh boy. Oh, I will run. Okay. Secret Joestar technique. Yes. Yeah, what else? Like he said, I'm so proud I'm so proud of my ancestors who ran away. Yeah, I guess that's another way to get out of this place. Many helps many people a person. Yeah, like for the greater good, that type of thing. Hmm. Damn, he's not even listening. No, he wasted my time. Wow, that's a good answer. Like, yeah, I'll simply run. What else can I do? So what? Your Majesty, you're gonna attack me from my behind? Oh wow. Okay. Uh, it's been a while you have laughed like this. He's like, wow, this guy really came without any plan. Just wanted to talk to me and tell me that, oh, go away from here. That's all he wanted. Nothing else. No tricks up his sleeves. Nothing to exchange. Just that. And he finds that comical. Yeah, that is pretty, like That is pretty impressive now that I think about it. He literally had no plan. Vinland? Yeah, that's true. You probably go there to take our land, you know. Just like you're doing here. Yeah. Huh. Hmm. Wow. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. Like, so the people who won't be able to live in his country come to Vinland. That type of thing. Like, yeah. You know what? That's a good answer. Yeah. That's why Canute will have to do the maximum part. However, the little things that he won't be able to cover, he'll do it. Mm. Wow. Well, it's obviously. Wait, Torgal is back? Is he back? Oh, he came back. Oh, wait, did he actually? Oh my god, he was going to fight Canute again. Great. That's why he. Okay. This guy. Yeah, I don't care about Floki. Let him do whatever the hell he wants to. Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. So, realize the truth. And they responded in kind? Yes. Wow, it was that simple, to have a little trust in humanity of others. That was all that he needed to do. Okay, wow. Wait, he's still here? Wasn't he going to leave with leave? I guess he's going to do that now. Oh, Mr. Sparkle. Oh no, wait, what's that? Oh no, that was Thorfinn. Yeah, okay, I thought that was Sparkle. Good God. What's wrong with my eyes? Ah, Sayonara in front of the grave. Hmm. Well, you got punched 100 times. I feel like he should have been way more. Hmm. Wait, how many days did he spend here? His face is not swollen anymore. After that, I'm guessing he spent 1 or 2 weeks, I think. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Well, place more appealing than death. I'll make it. Hmm. Brother. Yes. Wow. Ah, there you go. Yes. Okay, that's nice. Oh, are we off towards Iceland? A long time later, we'll be meeting Thorfinn's family again. Where's Kettle? He's probably just, I don't know. What? Oh, yeah. Hmm. Oh, there you go. Patter is alive. I just realized. In the previous episode, I thought he was dead or something. Well, you know what? At least it chose a good role model, unlike any of your family members. Like, good God, it's like Spherical is nice. Other than him, everyone else is crazy. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, he helped us a lot. Like throughout staying here. Like he did a lot for them. He also like made a lot of big impression on Snake as a. Oh, okay. Roald, son of Grimm. Okay, we're off towards home. No, is that kettle? Wow. There you go. Yeah, lost everything. I wanted to see him like this, like just he has to like pay for what he did. Allmar, look at him. Carve it. They became farmers. He's realizing how difficult it is to, make something, produce something. Unlike destroying, it's just a matter of seconds. Carve it into the sea. And here we have Thorgil, probably just wandering around trying to find some strong opponents. Hey, yo, look at him. Carve what you feel into me. Yeah. Carve that encounter into. That's it. Yep. Wow. Okay, next episode I think will be after he reaches his home, Iceland, and something like that. I'm guessing like a little epilogue kind of for this arc. All right. Wow. I have to say I was wondering what kind of answer Thorfinn's going to give to Canute, and you know what? Yeah, it's it's a very interesting answer he gave. Like, oh, then like the only thing that's left for me to do is run. Like, yeah, like what else? What else can he do if Canute doesn't listen to him? If he decides to take it by force or all that stuff, it's like, yeah, I'm just going to run then. Like, what else can I do? I'm not going to fight you. Yeah, none of that nonsense I'm going to ever repeat again in my life. So just run. That's all I have left to do. And yeah. Huh. That's it. All right. So that was this episode, episode number 23. And yeah, here we get to listen to Thorfinn's answer and Canute's decision after listening to that. So, excuse me. Yeah, so we begin this episode with Canute said that, so will you be able to stop me or will you be able to make me change my mind? Here we go. Can you stop me? Just like Ashla did then, you know, he said. And Thorfinn is like, yeah, now everyone is like, please leave Thorfinn, like everyone, like we actually like respect you, like you're a weird person. However, you have that thing within you which we respect. So I don't want to like do any bloodshed here. So can you please leave? Crazy how Vikings are the one like asking him to leave. Like those people who are just like just start fighting at the drop of a hat. They're actually like, oh, please leave. However, like Thorfinn. Okay, so here the curse of the head, sorry, the curse of the crown, again just starts talking to Canute, and he's like, "Oh, that person, like kill him. Like that guy is like not part of the sheep. He's trying to lead the flock of sheep astray. You're supposed to be the shepherd. You're supposed to be the king, like one who like directs the sheep towards like a certain place. However, he's the type of person who is going to take all the flock of sheep towards a cliff and just throw themselves off of it. So yeah, unless and until you kill this sheep, he'll lead the flock astray. So kill him. Like that's literally what like the crown is telling to him. And like this is the thing that I was just like I I was talking about a few episodes ago, that even if his intentions are for now, it's like for the greater good, that is going to change. And Thorfinn also mentions it here later on, where he says like, if you keep doing this, who's going to save you? Like little by little, Canute's essence is going to change. From now, he's doing this because he thinks this is going to be for the better in the long run. He's going to save the Vikings. In like in a return, he'll be saving the world as well and protecting the world, giving the Vikings a place to belong, a king to go follow. He'll be saving the world like that, and it is true. Like by sacrificing a few, he is actually going towards a brighter future. However, up until what long will he do this? Like after staining his hand in blood day after day after day, there's like a thing called like mental fatigue, and that is going to start accumulating. And like every person has a conscience, like whatever you're doing, if you're doing something wrong, however big or small it is, like however much you try to not look at it or try to ignore that, your conscience will always keep coming back to you and just hitting you. So like that conscience will become a constant source of stress for him, while he'll be staining his hand in blood day after day, little by little, kind of making him numb to the whole feeling, and him actually transforming into a person who loses sight of his original good goal, and he'll actually become a person like King Sven. So that is the, what the crown does to people. It makes people like mad. As his father said before, King Sven said that this crown has a power. Like it makes people mad. It as soon as you put it on your head, it'll change you. So that is the future of Canute. Somewhere down the line, he's going to lose it if he keeps continuing in this direction. And you can see a little bit of a demonstration here, where the head, like the crown, continuously tells him that, kill him. Like you're still, you're a king. He's actually leading your flock astray. So kill him before that happens. It's kind of trying to brainwash him, and this is literally what is going to happen in the future. This is basically Canute's future if he keeps going in this path. Like the crown and the power is actually going to make him a twisted individual. Even though he's not like that now, he is going to become that person. So like the crown is continuously telling him that, yeah, kill him, do it, while Thorfinn is like, okay, where's that part? Okay. Thorfinn says, if you intended to use your authority to force your way, the crown is like continuously telling, kill him, kill him. He's dangerous. He's going to lead you astray. Thorfinn says, like, if you still try to force your opinion and do whatever you want, then what I'm going to do is just flee. I'm going to run. Okay. And I love this part where when he says run, Canute is just staring at him for a few moments, and he's like, okay. And everyone's surprised, everyone's astonished looking at Thorfinn, and Canute is like, you simply run? And Thorfinn is like, okay, wait. Okay, that's all? Yeah, Thorfinn says, what else can I even do? Do you want us to kill each other here? And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. The paradise you describe helps many people while oppressing a few. And he says, like, I don't know if that is good or not good. I really don't have a vision that broad. You're better at doing that. Like, I'm not a king. I won't be able to see that far, and I don't have that. But I do, like, and he also says, I don't have the right to criticize your crazy ideas. Because it is true, like, this, like, the path that Canute is telling is actually a realistic path if you think about it. And that is why Thorfinn is like, yeah, you know what, I don't have any right to criticize you because I don't have a better plan myself. So whatever you are doing, I don't plan to criticize it. However, if you still try to, try to stand in our way and just not listen to me, then all I can do is run. That otherwise I cannot do anything. Like, what do you want me to do? Kill you? You want us to fight to the death? I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I'm just going to run until I'm out of your eyesight, and keep running until we are at a safe distance. And he says like, Aina, let's go. And like Canute is like, did you let that happen to your face merely so you can admonish me here, coming here, like nothing else? And he says like, I wasted my time, yeah, goodbye, your majesty. And here Canute finds this extremely funny, and he's like, starts laughing, and he's like, wow, so you actually had no plan here, coming here. And he says like, there are many who wish to bargain with me. Some try to ensnare me, and yeah, but you're unbelievable. You absolute fool. You don't have anything up your sleeve, completely unarmed and thoroughly beaten. You simply came to tell me not to seize this farm. Okay, so now that he's actually mentioning this, like actually bring this into words, I'm also realizing how ridiculous this plan actually was. So yeah, he literally came here just to tell Canute that, can you leave? And when Canute is like, no, I'm not going to leave, he's like, okay, then all I can do is run. Goodbye. That's it. Like, what's funny? Like in the previous few episodes, I was like thinking like, oh, I wonder what Thorfinn is going to say. How is he going to convince Canute? Like, what type of crazy eye-opening thing is he going to tell Canute, which is going to make Canute like wide-eyed, and he'll be like, oh wow, like you're right. You know what? Fair enough. I'm going to leave. I was actually thinking something like that is going to happen. Like, I literally was thinking like he's going to say something which would be like something very interesting, or maybe he's going. If you saw the previous episode, you could probably remember. I also said this, that maybe he had some kind of a exchange, like where he would say something like, oh, maybe Vinland, where I'm going to find Vinland, and something related to Vinland, who's going to tell Canute, and say like something like, oh, you can invest in me for all that stuff. I was thinking like yeah, he's going to exchange stuff about Vinland with him and tell him that, what, this is what I'm planning to do. So yeah, then I'll hook you up with something, from Finland. After I find it. So can you please leave now? I was thinking so many things. I was thinking like maybe that's what he was going to say, or something like that. Nothing. He had no plan. He actually had no plan. And after listening to this part, and after Canute brought this whole thing up, actually vocalizes this whole thing, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's kind of funny, because even I was thinking, what was he going to say? What type of crazy plan does he have? Or not, even if it's not planned, what type of eye-opening thing is he going to tell Canute? Or maybe some kind of an exchange he's going to do with Canute, that he leaves this place. But he had none of that. Canute literally says that. Canute is like, there's a lot of people who tried to ensnare me, who tried to exchange stuff with me, who did try to do a lot of things to convince me to do something. But you, my friend, you just stood there taking 100 beating, came here just to tell me normally like a person that, can you please leave this place? And then when I was like, no, I won't leave this place, what are you going to do? We're going to fight me? You were like, nope, I'm not going to fight you. I'm just going to run because that's all I can do. That was it. Nothing else. No talk, no jutsu. There was no talk, no jutsu involved in here. Like he's not, he doesn't have that ability. He's like, yep, I'm just going to run. That's all I can do. And Canute is like, you know what? That's funny. Okay. So yeah, there you go. Like it's confirmed. Thorfinn didn't really have any kind of like shonen anime character abilities of talking through the whole thing and converting enemies into his allies. He doesn't have that power. It's confirmed. He just very normally, like a person, said that, can you please leave? And when he was denied that, he was like, all right, I'm just going to go then. That's all. Oh boy. And like I'm just thinking, it's so funny that so many situations in the real world as well, where maybe like an argument and stuff happens and people try to convince the other person, like try to make them look the way that person is looking at the situation, and they try to convince them. And a lot of things happen, and they try their best to make the other person understand them and come to their side and take their side. And situations like this, for example, maybe let me take an example. Maybe a little school fight has happened. There's two teams, one person is oppressing the other team, and the leader for the other team comes and he tries to talk to the other person, trying to convince them to look at the situation in their way and try to convince them. And the other team is like, you know what, no, I'm not going to listen to you. What are you going to do, fight me? And I'm basically the other team's leader was like, no, what I'm going to do is just run. That's it. I've never seen any type I feel like if this is something that people do, a lot of the what do you call it, situations like that become worse and worse as it escalates, is going to just go down completely. If one side decides, if the other side is not really listening to you and it starts going into a fight situation, if the other side just runs away and leaves, that is going to just save a lot of time, a lot of energy. A lot of people will not get hurt, in any type of situation, I feel like. And I don't know, this is a very interesting way that Thorfinn decided to convince him. I didn't really convince him, but he just said that, yeah, I'm not going to fight you, I'm just going to run. And it's I feel like people are not able to take the step that Thorfinn took here because of their ego. Oh, I'm going to run? No. I'm at the right here, why should I run? That type of thing. Here, Thorfinn literally didn't care about that. And this is the courage, or this is the strength to accept whatever is thrown at you. The thing that Olmar was talking about. That if I had the courage to take whatever the other people were throwing at me and not lash out, this wouldn't have happened. And that's literally what Thorfinn did here. He was like, yeah, I tried to convince you, you didn't listen, I'm just going to leave. Go away. Yeah, a lot of people might call him a coward. A lot of people might mock him. But nah. He knows what to do. And taking this decision did not make this whole situation go into a battle or something. And yeah, this was a better conclusion to the whole situation. And even if Canute did not get convinced, and even if Canute stayed holding into his opinion, it would have been fine. I feel if in the end Canute did kind of get convinced, and he was like, all right, you know what, fine, whatever, I'm going to listen to you, Thorfinn. That happened by the end of it. Even if that didn't happen, even if that didn't happen, it would have still be a win for Thorfinn here, because he tried his best. He wasn't able to do anything, so he decided to take the loss and leave here without making the situation bad. What happened? Did anyone lose their lives? No, no one lost their lives. Everyone is fine, and that is a win here in this situation. Nobody got hurt. Like if this whole thing escalated into a battle, more people would have lost their lives. Maybe Thorfinn would have gotten hurt. A lot of things would have happened. Did any of that happen? No, nothing happened. Just because he decided to leave and run away. So yeah, that is a positive. Like that is a positive way. And this is making me realize as well that it is so much difficult to actually run away sometimes. And the person who is able to do that becomes the bigger man or a better man in this situation. Like, yeah, like when your ego does the talking, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to back off, I'm not a a coward, or I'm going to stand my ground, that type of situations, and you just make the situation worse and worse. Even if the other person is at fault, and they're not listening, you standing your ground make that situation even worse, and by the end of it, I don't know, you probably get into a fight and get punched once or twice and probably break your face or something, and then you get hospitalized. That's what happens by the end of it. But if you had the courage to be like, you know what, fair enough, if you're not listening, I'm just going to leave, goodbye, yeah, none of this would have happened. But it depends, it depends. There are exceptions. For example, situations like, if you remember the Gardar situation, there Thorfinn had to stand his ground. I'm not telling you to run away from every fight. No, that's not what I'm telling. That is not also what Thorfinn is telling you. No. Like, there's situations where you need to base your, what you need to do. You need to actually understand which situation to do which. In the Gardar situation, if he ran away, then that was not good. That wouldn't be good. And that's why Thorfinn decided to stand his ground and even take up his weapon, because he was doing that to protect someone, not take someone's life. So it's not like a staunch way of only one path you have to follow. None of that. Your path should be fluid. Your path should be flexible. You should know what to do when to take up your weapon, when to stand your ground, and when to run away. These things. And apply them in the appropriate situation. This situation with Canute, this was a situation where it was appropriate to run away, and he decided to do that. The Gardar situation was a situation where he had to stand his ground. He had to defend Gardar, even if it means taking up his weapon. If he did any of the other things, then that would have been wrong. So that is the thing, it's not a single road. You need to be flexible and think about the situation and then decide what to do and what would be the better path. So that type of thing, it's not that, oh, I have to follow this path. No, not that. That is not what it is. Even if someone is trying to harm your friends and family, if you decide to stay non-violent and decide to just run away, no, that's not it. That is not what it is. I feel like a lot of people will probably make that mistake while watching this episode. They'll be like, oh, what does this mean then? Even if situations like that, I'm supposed to run away. If my friends and family are going to get hurt, should I run away in that situation? No, not that. We need to remember the Gardar situation as well. That was the situation where you couldn't run away, where Thorfinn decided to stand his ground. However, this is a situation where it's okay to run away, and it is necessary to run away to make the situation better, and Thorfinn decided to do that. So I have I have huge respect for what he decided to do here. Like I said, sometimes it takes more courage and more strength to run away from from a confrontation, because there's a thing called ego within you. Your ego always tells you oh no, you should you should stand your ground here, that type of thing. But in this type of situation, he didn't let that win, and Thorfinn was like, all right, fair enough, I'm just going to leave then. So there you go. I'm very glad. This thing was really amazing. And Canute realizing the whole situation, that Thorfinn just came here to talk to him, he breaks down into laughter, and he's like, wow, that's actually hilarious. So yeah, he starts laughing, and then in the end he says like, so the Vikings are capable of producing someone like you as well. You're a beautiful man. And yeah, and then he says like, where were you going to escape? Where will you even be running away to escape war? And Thorfinn is like, I'm not going to tell you where, like maybe Finland, maybe somewhere else, but I'm not going to tell you because, like, yeah, you probably like, like follow me there as well. And then Canute also says like, yeah, my power will eventually reach that place, even if you find some place to hide and some place to run away. And Thorfinn's like, then I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep running away up until the end. I'm never going to fight after this, not after what I went through in my childhood. I'm not going to repeat that mistake ever again. And here Thorfinn says a very beautiful thing. He says that you have very big ambitions, Canute. Like you're trying to save the majority of the people. However, while doing that, there'll be a lot of people who might become the sacrifices of that. So I'm going to pick up the slack for you. If the people who you're not able to save, I will be saving them. They can come to me. And that is how we're going to divide this, this work. And you're going to save the majority. I'm going to be saving the people who you won't be able to save. And that is why we'll be making a world where everyone can live peacefully. And that is, I have to say, that is actually quite a good idea, I guess you could say. And it's a very, what can I say? It's something that I also again never thought about. Like, yeah, Thorfinn beautifully said that. And he says like, I'm going to make a world where everyone can live peacefully, for you and also for me. Yeah. And he also says like, there was a section where he said that like in the future there might come where you, by doing this continuously, will also be lost. Like for that as well, I'm going to do my best so that day doesn't come. And he says, Canute says, so you'll feel the whole my work couldn't, and are you capable of doing that? And Thorfinn is like, my power is so much smaller than yours. I can't fill a very big hole. Oh, there you go. Here's where he says it. If you keep oppressing people, eventually no one will be able to save you. Okay. You need to try harder. Don't make more work for me. And he's like, all right, fine. Who do you take after? You're speaking quite nicely nowadays. Okay, so then he kind of smiles, and in the end, after Thorfinn leaves, and he's like, interesting, I've never participated in such challenging peace talks in my life before. And the next scene, I love how Thorgil was like all ready and everything with his weapons, and he's like, yes, I'm going to fight Canute. He comes to the shore, and Canute is gone with his ships, and he's like, what? Where are you, Canute? I wanted to fight. And there you go, unfortunate. And later on we get to see Wolf talking to Canute, and Canute is like, so what are everyone saying? And Wolf is like, Floki is not happy about this. And Canute is like, what about you? And he's like, I'm cancelling our plans to seize other farms as well. And Wolf is like, it's fine, like I'm happy for whatever you're doing. He says, are you dissatisfied, Wolf? And Wolf is like, no. And he then says like, up until now I thought that this battle was only like in my side. The only people I could trust is like you. Like we both were the only ones fighting this battle, but now I'm realizing that no, like I have more allies. And he then decides to after going back, like, okay, I'm going to read this part. They kind of explain what he did from that point onwards. Here we go. Later, Canute ordered the disbandment of the Danish army stationed in England. Okay, that has been pressure in English finances. All right, and then what happened is, in the end, Canute's Danish forces dwindled to a mere 16 ships. Yeah. And this actually became a positive thing because, as they say, the English uprising people, oh no, however, the English uprising people feared would occur never happened. The English nobility realized the trust Canute has placed in them when he relinquished his military forces. And the relationship between conqueror and conquered began to change. This is so, what can I say, like interesting, because remember how he was like, oh, a king should always try to be like, like strong, and if I like, the reason why I have this amount of army with me is because otherwise people will think me as weak and they'll attack me, then try to kill me, this and that, like, this was the whole thing where he was just like, thinking in this manner. But then here, like, and that there was also that whole thing about the uprising that he was talking about. That is also the reason why he was keeping more army. But then after coming back, when he decided to just cut off the amount of people, the amount of guards that he had, and the Danish army that he had dwindled to like 14 or 13 ships, I think they said, like it lowered a lot. This actually worked in a different manner. The English uprising that they thought that is going to come and attack them if they dwindle their forces actually never happened, because everyone else realized and saw this whole situation in a way where they were like, you know what, he's actually trusting us, so let us like just repay him in kind. And they also decided to like the relationship between them and Canute became better. like this is basically like, oh, you do a good thing, or not it's like, I wouldn't say it's like a good thing, but you trust other people, you realize how they also trust you, that type of thing. You don't know this whole thing about people, like, this type of a world nowadays, in this day and age, it's very difficult to trust other people, especially strangers. But then when you suddenly decide to trust someone, and then you're pleasantly surprised that, wait a minute, maybe, people are actually nice, like maybe I was paranoid like throughout my whole life, maybe that was a bit too much, there are nice people in this world, like I just never looked at the bright side of this world, that type of thing. This was basically, Canute was just like, like in his own head, he was like, oh, this is going to happen, people are going to like look at me in a like, think that I am weak, the uprising will happen, that's why I need more people. He didn't trust anyone, like he only trusted himself. But then after talking with Thorfinn, when he decided to just trust others and lower his guard against others, he realized like that, what, other people, maybe they're not that bad. And the other people also saw this as a kind gesture towards them, and they also decided to like give Canute back in a same way by giving back the trust that he showed towards them back towards Canute. And it became like a better situation. And like, what can I say, like this is like a very positive thing. And obviously, like, I'm not like saying that, oh, Canute needs to trust each and every person in this world. No, obviously not. However, like the basic amount of trust that one person should put in other people, that Canute regained that. Up until now, he was like only like inside his shell, where he was like, oh, like the only person I trust is me, and like every person he looked at was like he really didn't trust them, and the only person he trusted was himself and like Wolf, I guess, and like this whole thing. So like that is not okay as well. Like as Thorfinn said, like you're going to get fatigued day after day if you keep doing this. In the end, you'll also fall down. Who's going to save you then? So after like doing that, he, in the end, where you see that part where Canute was like underneath the night sky, he was like, you know what, I feel so much better now, I feel good. So that was the end of Canute's like whole thing. So that was a beautiful section, the first half. The next we get to see Thorfinn is there sleeping, and I'm guessing he probably spent a few days here, just letting him heal. From a moment I thought this was Sverkel when he was like using the cane. I was like, oh, that's Sverkel, and then I was like, wait a minute, no, that's not Sverkel. That's Thorfinn. So Thorfinn goes up the hill towards like Einar, where like Einar was there in front of the grave, giving flowers and thinking about Arnheid. So Thorfinn comes and puts his hand on Einar's shoulder, and he's like, yeah, like, and then they start talking about the whole situation. And he's like, are we going, Thorfinn, to Vinland? Like, are we really going to find a place where, like, everyone will be able to stay peacefully? There'll be no wars, no slavery. And Thorfinn says, like, you know what, Einar? Like, remember that part where Arnheid asked us, like, what should I live for? I wasn't able to give a proper answer at that moment. I didn't know what to say to a person who has gone through hell in this world. And like what could I have even said to that person who wanted to find peace in death? Like, I had nothing else to say. However, I want to make a place where it is a place which is better than death. For people who have gone through hell, the thing that they yearn for is the peace in death. So I want to make a place where it is more attractive to someone who'll be wanting peace in death. Okay, you know what? I'm going to read this part. I'm not able to properly explain. He says this here very beautifully. I want a world where I can tell people to live. One I can proudly describe to people whose only salvation is death. Yeah. So there you go. A place more appealing than death. And yeah, and he's going to, and that will be Vinland, obviously. Okay, and then he says, if a place like that doesn't exist, I'm going to make one. And he puts his hand, Einar God gets his hand, gets up, and he's like, brother, come with me. And Einar is like, yes, brother, let's make a place like that. And yeah, after that, the next day, I'm guessing, on the next few days, everyone's like telling goodbye to Thorfinn. He's going to leave this place. And yeah, he has refused to take any money, I'm guessing. They wanted to give it to him. However, he refused that. And like, everyone's like saying goodbye. Okay, so everyone, like, here we get to know that they have told, like, Ketil that his father, Sverkel, was the one who convinced everyone else to, the Canute's forces to leave. And that's that. And Olmar comes in, and Olmar is like, thank you so much for saving us. And grabs his hand, and Thorfinn's like Olmar, like, you actually decided to not fight, did you? And he's like, yes. And Thorfinn's like, that's that's the way you do it. Like, I'm so glad that you decided that. And he says, like, it took me 15 years to realize that. However, you were able to do it that quickly. So I'm glad that you were able to. And yeah, he says, like, this is a wonderful farm. I hope the best for you guys. And he, tells Sverkel that thank you so much for helping us, because yeah, Sverkel helped them a lot, like in times of their need and everything. He helped Thorfinn and Einar. So he's like, thank you so much. And Sverkel's like, it's just a contract we had, like, give and take relationship. You don't have to thank me. However, yeah, there you go. They kind of smile, and then they leave. And when they're on the boat, like, Snake comes in, and Snake is like, my name is, okay, what was his name? Just a minute. Roald, son of Grim. And yeah, and they're like, goodbye, Roald. Like, see you again in the future, maybe. And yeah, and then we see what is happening. Ketil is just a broken man, looking at his farm, like his, his property, everything else, is just looking at it. The empty man he is just. And what can I say? I feel like this is a better punishment than death. And I'm glad that they actually decided to, make it like this. Like they could have easily like killed him or something, but I feel like this was a better punishment that than he could have gotten. Like death is basically, death is just death, you know, like you die, that's it, like nothing else. However, from today, this day onwards, Kettle is going to feel what he feared for up until now. Kettle's biggest fear was people leaving him and him being alone, and that type of thing. And that's exactly what he's like actually getting now. You know, he had so much that he was paranoid, he was crazy, he always he hired bodyguards for all of that. Like most of it are gone now, and he doesn't have Arnheid with him. Like he's just empty, just there sitting there. And that is, I feel like that is like the perfect way, like a good punishment for someone like him. And yeah, like I would say this is better, like they could have killed him, but they decided to keep him like this. And I'm like, yeah, like let him just suffer and get to realize what he did wrong. And yeah, leave his rest of his days like this, you know, like a broken man. And we get to see Ormar has actually changed, and Ormar is like farming with that girl, the girl who we saw with him with, and both of them are like farming. Snake's men, they are also like starting to farm, and you can see here Badger looks at his arm, like hands, and sees that his like calluses are forming. And this is like a way of showing like they now realize that how difficult it is to produce something, to make something. Destroying something is easy, you just destroy it, that's it. However, making something is so much more difficult. And yeah, we get to see Thorgil. He's off on the battlefield, just probably trying to find people to fight or something, I don't know. And yeah, Snake is also in the farm. Pater is taking care of the grave, and Pater is like, Arnheid, I, up until now, I thought all I could do was just endure. But no, these two, they have actually set off to do something that none of us could have imagined ever. And yeah, they're going places. They're going to go somewhere far away from us, and to a beautiful place, and like a beautiful future that they have. And that's where it ended. So yeah, really good episode. And yeah, I'm very happy. Like this is what can I say, like this is such a different type of an anime. like all we see, most of the animes that we see are just fight, fight enemy, defeat enemy, unlock new power, fight enemy, get defeated by enemy, unlock new power again, fight enemy, defeat enemy, character development, unlock new power, that type of thing. And I feel like people are just so much accustomed to that, and they're like, oh, why is there no fighting, that type of thing. Like I feel like there's everything has its own charm, and this is such a unique show, which is not like your typical fight thing. And it has such a unique charm that I don't know, I feel like this is really one of the special ones. And I rate Vinland Saga extremely high because of that. Like the way it is just so different. And yeah, it has its fair share of fighting and battles, but that is not the main thing of this show. That is what makes this so beautiful. you know like the main thing of this show is not their battles. The main thing of this show is the characters, and their the way of living their life, doing their things. And yeah, the fighting is just a side, like a side story kind of thing. And yeah, like I said, I enjoy every type of anime. I love battle animes, I love shonen animes, I love seinen animes, I love slice of lives. What else? Rom-coms, comedy, everything. Everything. I love every type of anime. So like this is a type of show that I never have ever seen before, and I just I'm so glad that this is actually like a like getting more and more seasons. I hope we get more seasons in the future. I'm sure it will, because even if, like, like we see a lot of people just saying like, oh, Vinland Saga season 2 is bad, it sucks, like there's no fighting. I've seen so many comments like this, like in YouTube videos. In the comment section, people are like, oh, I just came here for the fighting. If there's no fighting, what is the point of this? That type of a comment. I don't know which video it was. I think like someone wrote a comment like this, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I came here for the fighting? Like, what? Like, what? Nah. Like, that was one of the most outrageous comments I've ever seen. Like, I came here for the fighting, so like if there's no fighting, what's the point of this? Like, that was literally a comment I read in some one video, I remember, whatever, like it was like an opening video or something like that. And I was like shocked. I was like, is this what people think about anime, that is fighting? Like, that is literally like, like how most of the people, this is what people think. But like even if there's so many people like this, I feel like the majority of the people are just, what can I say, like so thankful that a show like this exists, in this. And yeah, it has done it in such a good way. Like this whole, like, you have no enemies, like, like I have no enemies, this type of thing, you know it has done it so well that it's actually impressive. Like, it's very difficult to make an anime where, like, like this character development like this. And I think Vinland Saga has nailed it completely. It's just such a good show. And yeah, like, I hope we get more seasons in the future as well, and I'm sure it'll do. There is a very loyal fan base to this show. I get the feeling that this show has a very loyal fan base. And I don't know. I feel like if a show has like a very good fan base, there are multiple possibilities in the future. And this is the thing, like I've seen so many animes where like the fan base are just insufferable. Like, like the more shows gets popular, the more vast the fandom becomes, the more crazy it becomes, of people just hating each other, hating each other's opinions, like just like all, like, bitterness, sadness, toxicity, just crazy stuff happens, in anime fandoms. And like I feel like Vinland Saga is probably the only anime fandom which might actually be able to accomplish something that is just, like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm not really sure about what type of fandom Vinland Saga has, but whatever fandom it has, I think it would be one of the most wholesome fandoms ever. Like, because people who actually understands this show will be the fans of this show, wouldn't they? Like people who understand that, yeah, like, like I have no enemies. Like, this is literally the quote of this, like, like of this show. I feel like Vinland Saga's main quote should be like, I have no enemies. So like people who understands this will be the fans of this show. So I feel like a fandom like that will probably be one of the most wholesome fandoms. Like I said, I'm not really exactly sure what type of fandom Vinland Saga has, but I feel like it would be one of those fandoms which is like, doesn't have any toxicity, everyone loves each other. That type of fandom, I feel like. Because the show is literally telling you not to hate others and not to fight, not to, like, attack others, and just, like try to, like, find a peaceful way. So I feel like the fandom will also be like that, wouldn't it? I don't know, this is just what I think. But like I feel like the like this is like a show where it is just going to, like, like the fandom is just going to be one of the most wholesome things. But like I said, I'm not really sure what the fandom is. I'm not even sure if, like, Vinland Saga, I'm sure it has a big fandom. However, like the state of the fandom, I'm not exactly sure. But this would be my guess. Anyways, yeah, what I was trying to say, I kind of went on a tangent. This show has a very loyal fan base, so I feel like in the future there is ample opportunity for other seasons to come. And like, I'll be honest, I'm actually very glad that, like, what can I say? Like, this show has such beautiful visuals and animations. Like, if they're able to keep continuing this, Like, oh, like my god, I feel like Vinland Saga is going to be like one of the best things ever, like one of the top animes to ever exist. If this animation quality keeps continuing in the future seasons as well, like this is Mappa's doing this. I hope the studio doesn't get changed or something, like hopefully. And we keep getting this consistent animation because the story is beautiful, and coupled with that, beautiful animations, beautiful visuals. Oh, that's just perfect. I hope this continues in the future as well. But anyways, enough talking. That was it, guys. That was my reaction to episode number 23 of season 2 Vinland Saga. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with the final episode of Vinland Saga season 2. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.